Hey y'all! Before we dive into this powerful Diversified game interview, here's a quick look at Mrs. Williams-Saffold's office. We're talking business and AI. And speaking of AI, check out the song Kellen made using AI about our client, African Tigress. Need help with AI or strategy? Book Coleman Public Relations and Consulting Firm, links in the description.
African tigress, hear a mighty roar, from Nairobi sky to Caribbean shores.
Hi there, my name is Alicia Williams-Saffold. I'm the owner and founder of Training Source One. Training Source One is a nationally accredited training and coaching forum based here in West Palm Beach, Florida.
Diversified game.
Learn how to start, run, and sustain your business.
Hey, it's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game, if you guys are going to see a small tour of this building, it's massive and it's only growing. And I'm telling you, this couple, if they weren't doing this business, you might think they were Hollywood royalty. Her husband looked like Chadwick Boseman mixed with Idris, and you guys can see who she resembles. I'm not even going to say anything. Maybe we should do like the tongue roll. But Miss Alicia, this building is beautiful. The business, you see the books behind you. People will see this and say, oh, what do I have to do to get this? Because they think maybe someone gave it to you or it happened overnight. How many years did it take to build this? Let's just start there.
Okay, that question was not one of the questions, but it's okay. It's been quite a journey. The book that I wrote 2 years ago was Becoming an Edupreneur, my journey to be building a profitable training business from scratch. It has since then morphed because I revised it because there was some misspelling on the cover that I recently discovered. So that book was revised, but it gave me the opportunity to add income stream ideas, ramp up what I had learned since I wrote the book before, and of course make the correction. But within that book, I talk about everything from the rooty to the tooty. What it took to even think that I could do it on my own. So mindset is first. It took a while for me to get to the mindset. I can clearly say that I've gone through many things in my life since childhood, previous marriage. So much has occurred that could have stopped me, that actually slowed me down. But what I always had was this desire to impart knowledge, the transferring of knowledge. That was always big for me. I didn't know what I was going to do. I worked at an organization for like maybe 18 years, and it was my ex-husband's family's organization. And I learned a lot in that role. And I also learned what I did not want to do. So I realized I no longer wanted to work in the center on the setting. So when the divorce and the separation happened, I was like, yes, out of there. But the first thing I did is start going through a temp agency. And that's how I made my money. And I was pretty regular. And it was so much so that every temp agency that I had, like 2 or 3 different temp agencies, that way I always maintained an income while I was deciding what I wanted to do. And the big thing was I was meeting so many different people in these different organizations that was like pouring into me, which is what I needed. So to answer your question, it has not been easy. I was poured into for many, many, many years until I had the mindset to even start a business. And that first business was a tutorial company. I will talk more about that.
Are you a successful entrepreneur or one in training? You've got the vision, but do you have the right partner to build your brand, your team, and your future online and off? At 𝐶PRfirm.com, we offer expert consulting, financial guidance, and life coaching because we believe in doing life with our clients. After all, what is it for a man to gain the world and lose his soul? Founded by 𝐬𝐿 Coleman, we help our clients not only succeed, but plan to retire rich. Your business deserves the best. Start building your legacy today at 𝐶PRfirm.com.
Somebody listening is saying, I'm at a temp agency right now. I don't think it can get any better. How do I grow to have a building? When you say that mindset, was it just something maybe from childhood where you felt like someone, maybe a teacher said, you're not going to be anything, right? A lot, or was it, what was it that was blocking the mindset for this journey of entrepreneurship and training people to get their mindset right?
Oh, that's a good question. The direct block set was my childhood trauma. That was everything that your adult self, who you are today, has a lot to do with who you were when you were little. As an early education professional, I knew that. And it was when I got into that field that I realized, okay, I had some stuff that happened that I'm triggered for. And one that I'm very healed right now that I'm able to talk about is the absence of my father. I didn't realize how big that was for me. That was huge. It dealt with, you deal with rejection, abandonment. All those things can roll up into a mindset, which in turn turns into who you are as a business owner or the desire to have a business. So everything starts with mindset. My mindset, we were impoverished. The poor little girls in the school, always moving. Now, we were always moving. It is because we kept getting put out the houses. We were on housing. So we kept getting put out. Maybe my mom would make too much money at some stage, so she would have to get put out. She would find another program. So we were always moving, always the new girls, me and my siblings, my sisters, we were always the new girls, so we always had to fight. We always had to fight, prove ourselves. So fighting didn't come hard for me. Let me say that. That was not a problem. I graduated from fighting to running my mouth to thinking it in my head to basically dismissing it when something comes up. I don't hold on to no negativity. That is the reason why I was so receptive when everybody was coming to me imparting these different things in these organizations. I was pretty much ready because I was like, I know what my childhood did to me because I learned that from being an educator or early educator. I studied children birth to 5. So certain things I knew, the reason I was the way I was. But being receptive to pour in, that's something totally different. I wanted different. I wanted different. I didn't want my life to be what I had witnessed. So how was I going to do that? My mindset was, okay, then go back to school. That's what I did. I went back to school. I got my degree. Then I went and got my master's. Then I went to my doctorate program. Didn't finish. I'm ABD, all but dissertation. But within my journey of building Training Source One, I realized that my doctorate was not, I wasn't getting it for the right reason. The reason I was getting it for, and honestly, that stipend that you will get while you're in school, that's why I got it. I was going through a divorce. I started going through my doctorate just for income. Within all that, I became a college professor. I had 2 jobs. And that's basically how I moved. And with all those jobs, it made me know, okay, I need to have my own. I need to have my own full time because I was just dipping in it. We're just dipping in it. So in doing that, this training room was built over 7 years ago. So 7 years ago, I had intentions of having trainings and having consistent income here at this building. So what I did was I started hosting trainings. And boy, was that the best thing I ever did. I wasn't accredited yet. In the midst of that hosting, I was contracted with an organization where I was able to partner and deliver a certification. I was doing the very same thing as a college instructor. So those 2 things were my bread and butter. Not accredited yet. Traveling, speaking events, people, I would go different places and people would invite me back over and over again. And it was either little or no pay, but I did it for exposure. And this one time, as I was training here all the time, she put in my spirit, she said, you could be an accredited training provider. She said, you could do, and she named the accreditation that I'm very familiar with because it's the same accreditations as the people that partnered with to offer the training. So I was like, I could get that on my own. So that seed was planted. Years later, I get the meeting that I need to choose whether or not I was going to be a provider for the organization or whether or not I was going to be continue to teach at the college. So I decided to be a provider for the organization, resigned from a college, only to find out when I became to be a provider, they reduced the amount of contracts I could do. Changed my whole world. My income went down was 70%. Changed my whole world. So I'm like depressed for like 7 months. I was depressed. I was depressed for like 7 months. But what ended up happening, this young lady that was in my train-to-trainer course, I did a train-to-train course. And this young lady that was in my train-to-trainer course, she became a person within the industry that she poured into me too. She said, you could be a accredited trainer provider. You can. So I was, okay, that's the second time I heard it. So I decided to go. Usually I wait for 3 things, Killer. I wait for 3 confirmation, but some just said, go see what the application is all about. So I looked up the application, paid the fee to get the application, and just start going over the application, just looking at it to see, you know, what it was that I already had, that's something I could do. And because I was doing all that training, all that experience, and I didn't know what it was all for. I got that application, had some coaching to complete the application. And next thing you know, they were coming here to review, to assure that everything that was in the application was indeed it. I was accredited, and I could not believe it. So that span from having a tutorial company to being an accredited provider was at least 8 years.
And tell the accreditation so people know. Which
The accreditation is at the International Association for Continuing Education and Training, and it is an international accreditation. I've been able to do some amazing things by Zoom because of it.
Nice. Hello, everyone. Join us on an exciting journey with Explore the World Cameroon. London 𝐼𝐶𝐞𝐭 go take you explore Cameroon, the heart of Africa. Experience the vibrant culture, nature, and traditions from Yaoundé market to rainforest adventures. Every page na new discovery. Enjoy the Cameroonian food, music, and wildlife with our explorers. This book na true celebration of Cameroon spirit. Get your copy now. Available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and through your library and bookstores via Ingram's Park. Don't miss this adventure.
And when people hear that, they might hear it depending on their position and say, oh, that means she's hiring. I just got my doctorate, or I've had my doctorate. Can I go put my CV in? Let them know what you're training on. And if you are looking for people, in the community, Palm Beach County, to come add value.
That's a good question. Well, that's a good point, because I've been through that stage before, I had what you call a trainer cadre.
Mm-hmm.
And it was within that trainer cadre that someone stole mine.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I would never be doing that again. I would never be doing that again. I am receptive to contracting with other trainers that they can have their own trainings, but it will not allow them accreditation. CUs. I can contract with them. There's a training that, here's what I'm known for. If people come to me and I don't do the training, I reach out to trainers that I know that do the training.
No,
I've even had a young lady to come and host the training here, and it wasn't my training. So I prefer, if you have your own training and you want me to refer you whenever they contact Training Source One, and Training Source One was once that connector, but I got burned. So I would have to do it very differently, and I'm not sure what that looks like yet.
Okay. And for all the people say, see, that's why we can't work. You know what? I look at it different. You were so great that they had to try to mimic you. But if they talk to you for 5 minutes, can't nobody take what you do. It's just like you mentored them to take the pieces. And I understand it's intellectual property. Used to get caught up in that myself until I found out, oh, you can't do it. Like, I might have said this, we might have laid it out. You're not able to implement it. Same way Tim Cook has, implemented Apple, but it was Steve Jobs who said, oh, I got this idea. Tim Cook couldn't take his ideas. He could only help him so far. So And that's why Apple, we'll see what happens to Apple. I'm team Android, y'all. Look, we'll
Team Apple.
okay. It's people. I don't even want to go there. With the training though, what are you known for to get people right, and how long will it take? Because some people will say, "Look, I'll take the training, but I want to see a 10x return in 3 months, in 6 months." What is your bread and butter?
My bread and butter is the CUs and transformation. That's my bread and butter. It's real simple for me. You're going to be a part of a training where you're going to be able to utilize strategies and tips that you learn immediately in your role and receive CEUs, which is required in the industry.
Yeah, that's major.
That's the thing. That's what I'm known for. I go into spaces and the goal is to transform. It's a transformation. It's a transfer of knowledge, but it's a transformation because I want you to think differently about your role, more differently than you ever thought. And that's my goal. I'm walking with that intention.
Gotcha. Now somebody's listening, and most people are listeners, but I encourage y'all, stop your truck, stop your car, go over to the YouTube, give it some views, see the passion, see the office, see the interview as well. But they'll say, if I do this training, I ain't got no money. And that's where a lot of people start. Even if, you hear them on TikTok, they're killing it until it comes into training or courses or conferences. And then people start saying, $1,200, that's a lot of money. And I said, no, I said 12,000, not 1,200. So can you let them know some packages before they go to the site? Because some people get scared to even look if they don't hear it's in their budget, even though they spent more this weekend or last weekend at the club, at the, the resort, wherever. Where do we start with the packages?
Well, here's where, before I start with what the packages are, I didn't know my worth. And because it comes easy to you, does not mean you're supposed to give it away. And that's for whoever's listening. A lot of times we don't know our worth. We're so excited that someone is giving us the opportunity that we don't know our worth. So I would say go all the way back to as when you're creating the packages, that you place the packages as they are. My packages start from a strategy call, which is $497. That's 90 minutes, all the way up to a coaching component, which is $12,000. Okay. So if from there to there. Now, there are so many different ways to pay that I understand. They have a firm. What's the other one? There's ways to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a way.
They might have some crypto. You might take it, depending on what it is. And you're not supposed to know now since they're taxing on it. So, yeah.
Yeah, you do it too much. But I would say whatever you want to do, you'll find a way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
There are times that it's very expensive to have an accredited training organization because you have things that you have to adhere to on a yearly basis, like systems and yearly fees, not to mention the initial fee.
Mm-hmm.
Most people can't do or won't, because everything is possible. I actually compiled all my credit cards to do my accreditation fee. Everybody. My husband is a pretty successful man. And everybody thinks, oh, she did it because her husband. But because it's my company that I already had when I married him, I'm responsible for everything that takes place at Training Source One. And what is happening is I don't allow him to pay for anything. He's not allowed to pay for my company because it belongs to me. And I need to be able to, I'm a coach. I coach entrepreneurs. I need to be able to show them what they could do within their skills and talents and how they can monetize that. So that's everything that came from it.
But let me say this, because anybody who would say that, oh, her husband or, anybody's spouse, right? They would always do Stedman like that with Oprah. Don't be mad because somebody chose right and you didn't. No, you can't hate for somebody.
I heard it. And you know how you put yourself in a position where you're around certain people?
Mm.
I'm very mindful of that now.
Mm.
But when I put myself in a position, I'm around all these women things, and you hear, and they'll say it to you.
Yeah.
They'll say it to you.
Yeah. But it's hate. It's hate and it shows where they are. Even if they are in their own relationship, they're miserable. Anybody who would say that. So husbands, if you hear your wife talking about somebody that they're mad in their own relationship, because when you're winning, you ain't got time to be like, oh man, this person got it because of that. So what? Isn't that what this whole help meet thing is? And it works both sides.
I had someone to call it to say to me, you need to start helping your husband more. Because I'm doing training source. So I've heard several variances, I would say. But nothing fazed me because I want to be true to what's going on with me. You know, they don't know Ezra, my husband. They don't know what I've been through. So I don't listen to all of it. None of it. I hear all of it. But I don't take it to work.
Yeah, and you shouldn't, because nobody knows what's going on in somebody's relationship. How they live ain't how you live, and that's why you're mad. Hello. Now, when it comes to you, the book, love the cover. I'm going to have to read it. I'm going to get it. I know it's on Amazon, right?
It's on Amazon.
And so with the book, though, a lot of times comes speaking. Sometimes people say, like Peter Diamandis, they'll do a podcast or a YouTube. Now that you've rebranded, are you going to have a camera or audio equipment? Are you going to be doing any of that?
You know what? Yes. Yes, the rebrand has been slow for me. And I would say what I used to do, and this is very previous as to January, how I would rush to get things done. It's an idea to come in my head. Oh, let me execute.
Yeah.
Because I get ideas. I have a notebook by my bed that when I get an idea, I get up and write it.
Yeah.
When I wake up, usually I forget. So I started writing. And because I have to ask God to stop me sometimes because I'm very aggressive in certain things. And because of my aggression, I'll go and I'll launch stuff and do this and do that and be doing everything at the same time and not thinking about the steps that it takes and everything that comes along with this launch.
Yeah.
And that's what's different now.
Okay.
I'm baby stepping this rebrand.
Okay.
I'm baby stepping it. It's like as God has given it to me, I am delivering it. It took that website for me to get all the things that I'm doing new. It took about 2 months for me to actually be able to share that vision, and my designer picked it up and got it.
Okay.
It took a while. I'm in the midst of a journal for women. I'll give everything later, but God gave it to me in little steps. You know, I've been in a quiet season since February the 19th. Something horrible happened. My daughter's best friend was killed. Well, not killed. She ran into a lake. And that was around February 10th. And as a result, in order to be able to be there for my baby and minister to her, my daughter's 31. They had been friends since she was 14 years old. So I knew that girl. I knew.
Yeah.
I knew her. She was in my house. They did sleepover. I knew her. And it was so heavy that I couldn't create a post. Couldn't create one post. So I ended up getting on and saying to my followers, it's been a bit, blah, blah, blah. But it's been a while. It's been a while. February 19th is the last time I post. So that was the post that I said, I'll be back soon. I had lost all my videos. And that was my indicator, okay, maybe that era is over. My account kept getting hacked. And the last time I tried to get it back, I had to change my handle. Yeah. And I lost all my videos, all my drafts. So that was I said, I'm not recreating all these videos. And like I said, once I have an idea, I get up and execute. So I had like 40 videos that, I had broke up and I was going to be edited and they were gone. So of course I was not encouraged to go back because my whole little rhythm was not the same. But while I was out, God gave me the rebrand. He gave me rebrand. And the rebrand was all about what I'm already doing that I wasn't stating to the masses.
Okay.
I was already doing corporate training. I was already doing coaching, leadership coaching, executive coaching. I was already doing that, but not doing it as much as the early education. The early education was like at the front. So now is toward the back, and the corporate training, coaching, and leadership, entrepreneur leadership coaching is the main part of it.
Oh, everybody listening, they say, man, we got so many coaches, so many people giving the game. You got coaches who have coaches, and I've even heard again Les Brown talk about
I have 3 coaches.
and I think that's what we have to push. Just like therapy, it's okay to have a therapist. It's okay to have somebody sewing that you're paying. If Les Brown, who says he got over 400,000 for speaking for an hour or less, can still have a coach, we all may need a coach. Pastor T.D. Jakes and others have talked about they have coaches. But this is the problem that I have. When you're 22 years old and you're talking about, I'm a coach, I've retired my mother, my father, and this and that. What do you think about the 22-year-old who's a coach and is a life coach at that? Give me your opinion.
Well, I stay in my lane, first of all. I stay in my lane. Now, it depends on what she's coaching, because every coach has a team or a tribe that actually is supposed to be under their leadership, their tutelage or whatever. If that 22-year-old is a life coach, she's probably going to attract younger clients because teenagers need coaching as well. I don't know how much life she'll be able to expel, but her mantle, whatever her platform is, and she's attracting people to it, it has nothing to do with how long she's lived. It's probably her wisdom.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Okay.
Because everybody has clients.
Okay. Well, if you ever get into coaching teenagers, let us know so we can then go tell whether it's the Talented Teen Club or others, hey, come down here and become a junior coach. I'm going to call him that. Junior coach. Yeah. Because life is starting so much quicker now with, the technology where, my 13-year-olds can, my 11-year-old or my whomever can create a website. They can create a business. You see people on Shark Tank, Hell's Kitchen. I mean, it's just like, will you even have a childhood, which I love because I think I've been like this forever, trying to make some money and progress. And so I love it, and I love your answer. Now, I always ask people what their community give back is, whether what they're doing or what they'd like to do. What is yours?
Well, working with organizations like Talented Teen Club and giving to every organization that reached out to me. That's what I would say. I have scholarship opportunities for trainings within my company that I offer quarterly. We a plethora of different organizations that we are a part of that requires financial contribution.
Okay. Now, you in the community, this is your community. Excuse me, kicking that over. RFPs, RFQs, government contracts, are those big on your to-do list?
That's how I get most of my work, through RFPs and RFQs. RFQs are requests for qualifications. RFPs are requests for proposals, and they are very relevant in the county and different states. You need to be prepared to submit what you do, how you do it, why you do it to organizations. That's like first. One of the first things I coach my clients is to actually have all their ducks in a row so that they can submit. I make sure that their branding is good, their documents, and it's all about them submitting and becoming vendors in different organizations. That's first, so they can get the opportunity to show up in their email. Then we take it from there. Once you get the opportunity, you're ready to go for it, we go. What I have not done yet, Kellen, is gotten a governmental contract. I have not gotten a governmental contract. And it's because they say you need to have experience in getting governmental contracts. I'm like, how do I get experience if I never can get it? But what I figured out is to go under somebody that's already under it. So that's what I'm going for this year.
Okay, well, have you reached out to your local PTAC, which is now Apex Accelerators, SCORE, or SBA?
I reached out to SCORE.
Okay.
Very familiar with SCORE. At one time, that's all I did was their trainings. They offer free trainings, by the way. SCORE offers free trainings in Boca, West Palm Beach. Free trainings for business owners.
Apex Accelerators can tell you more about the joint ventures and how sometimes those work. And it's like creating another business. My thing, I tell everybody, government contracts is not easy to the point where I wait for them to call me. They know the bad phone. And we just finished one with Palm Beach County for the disparity study. But I to go after them, it's a game. But once you get in the game, it's like they will call you. Now, how often they call you and how many, I know some people who have multiple ones in this county at a time. And I love it because it gives me encouragement to say, that's the goal. How do we get there? But it is about, not who you know, but who knows you and the type of work and the type of person. So, you have a great personality of this great business. People see me with my funky jewelry coming through from Kenya, and they say, man, what is that? Yeah, tell them Mambo, start speaking Swahili. But the government contracting will come, but also the subbing. You can make a killing off the subbing, and you don't always have to prime because primes. I have a friend, Eric Coffey, here in South Florida in the Broward area. He told me in an interview, he's had to return $1 million. I believe it was twice. And if you don't return the $1 million, you go directly to jail. And it's not that he did anything wrong. And he's a coach in government contracting. So everybody look at Diversified Game if you want to learn how somebody makes, good money and shows other people how to make good money. I hate to talk money because people think, when you say millions, they'll be like, I can make $1 million. And it doesn't come like that.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Wish I could tell you it does, but
it doesn't. It doesn't. But Kelly, that's what I'm going to be doing. This rebrand is totally different than my thought before. It's more than a rebrand. It's a rebirth, I would say. It's some of the things I did not take advantage of being an accredited training environment and being as experienced as I am. And it's fear. It's fear. A lot of times you are afraid to move. You have all these imposter syndrome thoughts because you think you should be doing all this and this before this. But what I learned, what God has for you, it is for you. And you just have to align yourself to what that is. That's why my coaching is all about alignment, making sure that all your documents has everything to do with what you are doing. What you're doing and what you plan to do. There's nothing like having a business and having holes throughout the business that you haven't taken care of.
Yeah.
So I structure is my thing.
Yeah.
Structure. It's like if you look at all my files, my folders, everything is structured. I know exactly where certain things is. I am helping a young lady. She has a training business. And we are at the very last part where she is going to be accredited as well.
Okay.
And she's going to be bad. You hear me? Because she speaks Spanish and English, and she has a specialization component for special needs.
Oh, wow.
She's going to kill it.
Yeah.
And she's doing the regular English track, education track too. She's going to kill it.
Yeah.
Wednesday is her day of her final review, her verification visit, and I'm excited for her. In that process, we did templates, we did documents, everything to make sure that she's able to talk about her business ready, and she'll be accredited. That's what.
How much of this is being done because I think it was in 2019 when you talk about getting your master's from Nova. I'm going to say Nova Scotia because of the country. I'll totally butcher it. But how much? Because people say, how much education do I need? What is a master's really going to teach me? And I tell people, I don't know. But in a master's program, I got to teach. And I got to teach what I knew.
Yeah.
And I was teaching to the point where my professor told me, you have to teach because I don't know how to build a website or I don't know this. You're already working in the field. So how much for you did a master's degree help you? Because some people think maybe school is outdated. If I got AI can just answer all the questions and tell me everything, that I need to know.
Right. I got my master's in 2009, 11. Master's. Yes. 2008 or 9.
Okay.
I can't remember. But it was a long time ago. It was after I went back to school as a married lady, as an adult. So it was not right after school. But to answer your question, the master was important to me back then because I had a goal of being a college professor. That's all I wanted it for.
Okay.
I wanted to be a college professor. So I was going to be a doctorate. And in the midst of the doctorate, my life started changing. I started getting contracts that I didn't need to be a doctor to get these contracts. Accreditation was like a doctorate to me. It's like even everything that happened, I had someone to say to me, 𝐾𝐿𝐿, I don't really need accreditation, right? It's just accreditations. And I'm paraphrasing. But I was like, oh my goodness, I worked like a slave to get this accreditation done, and she is downplaying my accreditation. So that was hard. I was having a conversation with her, and she was on a call while I was training other people. You understand?
Yeah.
It was a Zoom call, and she said that.
Yeah.
And I can't remember exactly what I said, but I just...
No, she told the truth, though. She doesn't need.
Yes.
That's for her.
But she has her doctorate.
Yeah. She doesn't need, but there's things and places you can go with the right accreditation and maybe she doesn't want to go. So you speaking for yourself, and that's cool. And again, there's accreditations that people have. You've seen the people who go buy their doctorate and they're sitting in their backyard and you say, they didn't even finish high school. Like, for real, I know some people, they didn't even finish high school.
First of all, how do you buy a doctorate? I want to know that. How do you buy your doctorate? And who is going to, and how is it not verified?
I'll tell you off air how you buy it, because I might go to the messy side, and I try to keep it cool. And I don't want people to know how to do it if they don't know how to do it, because we beat the game a long time ago. If you just want to look good,
No, you know what makes you the person, even outside of school, without a diploma, without a degree. Because I know people that don't have a diploma that just has a very successful life. They aligned what their skills and talents were with their income. Their income, they monetize their skills. And most people do that now. You can monetize your skills.
Yeah.
It's a set way to do it, of course. I'm no content creator, no brand ambassador by no means. But I know what I've seen work. And I know those things that worked for me. I had a master's, a little doctorate, ABD, all but dissertation. However, most of my things that I had to do in order to complete big things had nothing to do with my schooling. It has everything to do with my skills and my talents. There's some RFPs that request education, and there's some RPs that request final, like the finished training. You understand? So if you don't have a degree, that means nothing. If you do have a degree, that means nothing.
The only thing with the degree, they can't deny you if it's on the paper.
Yeah,
if it's on the paper, like teaching. And that's where my mother said, just go do your master's, because you can always teach, if nothing else. And I say, you always had to listen to your mother, you get beat in the head. But with, having a business, and you're working with your husband's business as well, can you give anybody some tips on how to work with your spouse? Because I hear that probably more than any. How do you do it? And I say it's easy.
Listen, you ain't say you was gonna go here. Okay? Listen, it is hard. It is hard because you see him. I'm seeing my husband every day. Oh, not today. Sometimes we like, not today, because he has multiple businesses. My husband is a businessman. no doubt, businessman and a developer as well. So he is so busy, which is the reason why I decided to assist him. It started out as 20 hours a week.
Okay.
Well, it started out as 10 hours a week.
Mm.
And I was going to do it from my laptop. 10 hours. Okay. I can do the payroll, not a problem, blah, blah, blah. Then became, I did the training for the staff. I do outreach for the staff. I'd show up at all the any team correlated thing, I'm there. Even Tuesday morning, 7 a.m. team huddles. Now, I told him the other day, I said, I don't feel like I have my own business. I really don't. Because basically, if there's a need, a lot of times I'm in position to get to that need quicker than anyone else. So seeing him here and at home, we definitely had to have some things in place, some conversations. Okay, we don't talk about work at home. Please. Nobody come to the house that have anything to do with work. No. So it's certain things that we've been implementing, but it's not easy. It's not easy. He respects my company. That's what's been working. If I have on my Training Source 1 shirt, or I tell him, I say, I'm doing this today, he totally respects it. And I think that's what's been making it work. He allows me to have my business and everything that goes with it. You met him on the way here. He got him out the way. He's like, okay, all right, because that kind of respect is required in working with your spouse. I have to be able to respect him and honor the fact that he has a role for me, a role that doesn't pay, but it's not hard, if you know what I mean. It's not hard. To me, I actually think, okay, I'm doing it for this family because this is a family business. You met two people in there. One was my daughter and one was her husband. And it's 3 other people that work in this family. So
I thought I saw more than that.
but they're not family.
Okay.
I mean, like
family.
family that work here.
Okay.
So that's how I take it. Like, I'm the matriarch of my family. So it's befitting that I'm their boss. Yeah. So that's kind of how it is.
And that's natural. Yeah. Because they don't want to get beat in the head either. So it's a different.
I'm learning not to mama bear everything. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's so hard. We have adult children. You will mama bear everything. It's like, okay, maybe you should do that. Maybe you should do that. I have a daughter that moved away, and I want to call her every day so bad, but I just don't because she's an adult. I have a son that used to work here, no longer works here. He's mad with me. I would usually call him and blow him up, and I'm just learning that I don't have to have control over every situation. I just need to be in control of everything that's up in here, around here.
Gotcha.
That's it.
Gotcha.
That's it. But that's hard.
Yeah.
And it has been hard, but I'm doing it. I think one of the things that I really appreciate about my adult children are how supportive they are. You know, and I say they're supportive because they take care of themselves. I don't have one child that I have to, not one.
That's a blessing. That is a blessing. And it's a blessing if you guys hear this and you do have a mama bear or a papa bear. That's a blessing. I'm telling you, my biological parents are passed. So I feel like if you have somebody who can sew into you, I know it's annoying, just take it for as long as it lasts, because it will not last forever.
It will not last. But you'll get to the point where you know how to be a mama or a papa bear. And I think I was just do it like I need you to do it.
Like your dad.
Like Kid Richard. Oh, come on, no. I do not, no, not that. That wasn't, but just asking extra questions and telling them what I think. Why you should wear your hair like this. You know, it's just a look. Because I had 3 girls.
Yeah.
2 boys. I had 3 girls and a boy. So right now it's 4 girls and 2 boys because my husband has a daughter and a son. So I had to practice. I had to actually practice not trying to control every situation.
Yeah.
Okay, let me make this happen. Or let me put some money right here so they'll be all right. You know what? That's enablement.
Okay. Well, let the people know, not just where they can find you, if you do bring back your videos in your YouTube and you put them in the cloud, you put them on the YouTube, you put them on your own server as well, so nothing can happen to them. They can't be stolen, like on a Synology unit. Shout out to Synology. Where they can find you, when they can expect a YouTube or some tutorial videos. Yeah, okay, that's it. It's coming.
So much to do. So much to do, Kellen. So much to do.
Busy is a blessing.
Busy is a blessing. It's a lot to do. There is this, I had one of my platforms built, Dipsado. Nice young lady, Taylor. She was named as Systems Guru. She built my platform. I have to go and do things to that CRM platform on my own because I want to be able to learn how to do it. Because I want to be able to teach my clients how they can do it on their own.
Okay.
Now, I said that to say, I'm not sure when I'm going to totally drop everything. But I know as for now, I am taking corporate clients. I'm taking entrepreneurs, coaching clients. And I'm also still sending out the trainings for the CEOs. Website is now active, www.trainingsource1.com. I did my best to make sure I expressed every new part of the rebrand in its entirety without making it too wordy. So it's not a wordy website, but it's all encompassing. There are FAQs, frequently asked questions. There's an opportunity to ask me a quick question. And then I try to make sure there are 3 blogs there and they answer questions about the rebrand, but it's all encompassing. So you actually can find out everything there. www.trainsource1.com. It's been in my spirit to do a podcast, and I probably will be. And that will be through YouTube, right? Well,
YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all of it. If it goes to one place, it goes to them all when you set it up properly.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right, so that's been in my spirit to do. I haven't done anything besides thought on it.
Okay.
This rebrand it's different.
Okay.
It's different. So I'm sure I'll be doing additional things.
Okay. Well, you guys have got enough game to at least go get the book on Amazon. I'm going to have links in the description. You know, I appreciate you guys if you would like wherever you're experiencing it, if you comment, but most importantly, I need you to share this game with somebody. It will change their life. Remember, it's a family business. It is different, y'all. Be blessed. We're going to talk about how she's going to go on her website and have her own AI. We're going to talk about that. And it's y'all be blessed.
Are you tired of the rat race in America? Are you ready to visit the motherland to relax and rejuvenate? Are you ready to explore all that Africa has to offer? Then check out the brand new Diversified Game Academy course, Prepare for My First Trip to Africa. Are you worried about being able to afford the trip? We got you. We will show you how to travel either on a budget or as a baller. Learn how to stress the value of the USD. Did you know that 100 United States dollars is worth over 1,000 South African rand or 10,000 Kenyan shillings or 54,250 West African CFA? Are you worried about taking your kids? Get the game from Kelly Cash, a bona fide world traveler, having traveled to almost 20 countries, several of those in Africa. Get the game on taking your kids on their first trips. Learn how to find the best tickets, get the visas, and plan your own adventures in Africa. Don't let Eddie Murphy have all the fun. Plan your own coming to Africa trip starring you, produced by you, and featuring you. If you are ready for a life-changing experience, sign up for our course today, Diversified Game Academy. Get prepared and purchase at diversifiedgame.com.